to locate the center of gravity, there is one question given. Locate the centroid of the L section. L section is here, this sketch. So this is a rectangle, two rectangles joined together to form a L section. I have just indicated one formula here, a rectangle, okay. Basically this is origin point O, this is length is L, breadth is B, rectangle. As I told you, you have number of formulas based on the shape, okay, the figure, and its x bar and y bar value and area. See, this x bar and y bar are the values, it is the distances from, say, left edge corner I told you, say OY, towards traveling towards x axis side. You are going to find out the center point when you travel towards x axis side is L by 2. This length by 2 will give the center point on the x axis side, and this B by 2 will give the center point when you travel towards the y axis side. That is the purpose, x bar and y bar value, and area of this rectangle is L into B. It is basic, right? Now here, based on this, we have to solve this question, and finally we are finding out to locate the centroid. Locate the CG, center of gravity, okay. There you will have the capital X bar value, it says area of 1. Say I have written here 1. This rectangle I have separated rectangle number 1, and this I have divided rectangle number 2. Actually the sketch will be like this, while giving, fine, or I can say I need not write this value. The question is like this. It is just given a rectangle or L section with a width of 6 centimeter, its thickness of 2 centimeters. If this is 2, this has to be 2, same equal, and 10 centimeter width. So now I am dividing this into two rectangles as of, it's our convenience. This is first and second rectangle, okay. Now the purpose is we have to find out where is the center of gravity lies, at which point the center of gravity lies. So the formula is this, and I told you the formula is given in the book as such for rectangle, triangle, circle, etc. There we have x bar and y bar values and the area here. Now finally we are finding out, since there is two areas are there, A1 x1 and A2 x2. So A1 into x1, x1 is this value, x1 of sketch 1, this is x bar value of sketch 1, and plus A2 area of second sketch into x2 divided by A1 plus A2, area of 1 plus 2. This is how you are locating the value of x bar, that is x distance means from the leftmost corner OY axis we are locating the x value. Individually locating the x value is given by this formula for sketch number 1, again individually locating the x value for sketch number 2, individually locating the y value for sketch number 1 from lowermost corner to we are turning towards up, towards OY axis, from OX2 we are turning towards up, and individually calculating y value from OX axis towards OY axis in this direction, I mean for sketch number 2, and finally we are adding up with x bar value of A1 x1. Here only x is given because it's x bar, and we go for y bar to find A1 y1, that is individual value of this y bar value of 1, sketch number 1, plus A2 y2, right, divided by A1 plus A2. This is how you will locate the center of gravity, right. Now we will see how do we do it. So this is the first sketch given. Now the step is to, you have to follow, let the triangle be as it is. So I will make it up 6 here, okay. As it is I will make it up. This is sketch number 1. First I have to divide this, point out, fix up the center point of each sketch. For that I will just make a diagonal line, okay, just indicating 2 points, fine. This I suppose to be the center point of this sketch number 1, this sketch number 1, okay. And sketch number 2, Actually it is given as it is. I have divided this as sketch number 2. This is sketch number 1. This dotted line indicates this separate rectangle and this separate rectangle. Sketch number 2 also I will make a diagonal line. This is my axis. This is my center point of sketch number 2. This is center point of sketch number 1. Now this line is my O point. Is it not? Origin point. OX. This is my X direction. And this is my OY, Y direction. Is it clear? What I mean to say here, if I want to travel towards X direction, I will be traveling from OY. My leftmost corner is OY axis. From OY reference axis, I am traveling towards X direction. Okay? And if I want to travel about Y direction, I will keep my OX as my reference axis. I will be traveling towards Y direction. Now what I will do, I will indicate the individual figure. I will draw the individual figure and then explain about how to find out the center of gravity value. Right? Now this is a rectangle. Now I am drawing sketch number 1. Sketch number 1 is given like this. What is this value? 6 centimeter. Okay? And with this 2 centimeter. This is what sketch number 1 indicates. Right? This 2 centimeter and 6 centimeter. Now for this I have to find out the center point. Center point is what is here? L by 2 given. Is it not? First I have to find the first step is the area. Okay? Area is what? L into B. Is it not? L into B is, what is length given? 6 centimeter. Breadth given 2 meter. So it becomes 12 centimeter is my area for sketch number 1. For sketch number 1, I have to find out individual center of gravity point. Okay, that is X bar value and Y bar value. What I mean to say, for sketch number 1, I'll just write it here. This first step to find out, you have to draw the separate sketch of sketch number 1. Mark a center point and then write area. This is L into B. As per the formula, it is L into B for the rectangle. I am writing it here. Now I will go for locating the X bar value and Y bar value for this one. What is my X bar value? I have the OY axis here and OX axis here. I will find out the X value, that is X bar value. How is you find out? My OY is the reference axis. From OY axis, if I travel, from OY axis to travel, my X bar value is given as L by 2. I am traveling from OY axis, left hand side axis. My X bar value is L by 2. L by 2. What is L here given? 6 centimeter. I will write it as 6 by 2. That is 3 centimeter. Clear? And again from OX axis, if I travel, I have to find out individual center of this sketch, the figure. For this figure number 1, I have to find out individual centers towards X and Y direction. That's my work. Now, if I travel from OX direction, my center is from B by 2. Y bar is B by 2. B by 2. OX is my base. From base I am traveling upper, towards upper side, because B by 2. What is B here? 2 centimeter. This is 2 by 2. It becomes 1 centimeter. Is this clear? Now so this is my value of X bar. This is my value of, so this is my X bar. It means X1 I can say. And this is my Y1. I was writing A1 X1 and A1 Y1. So this is my value of X1. This is my Y1. So sketch number 1 work is over. Now sketch number 2. So the same fashion I have to write sketch number 2. So which I'll erase this one, or I'll indicate here for sketch number 2. Sketch 2. Okay. So I'll be writing as sketch 2 is like this, is it not? The total height is actually 10 centimeter, sketch 2 here, but I have divided this in the center, which means the 2 centimeter I have reduced. So this is not 10 centimeter, this is 8 centimeter. Kindly remember, this is given as 10 centimeter height, but I have taken this 2 centimeter in this sketch number 1 separately. So I have taken sketch as 2. So it's 8 centimeter height, and width is 2 centimeter as it is. This is 2 centimeter. This is the shape of sketch number 2. For this, I have to find out, this is my OX and this is my OY line. Again I have to find out the center point of OX direction, center point of OY direction. I will be dividing into 2 values. The center point of OX will be here, OY will be somewhere here. Is it not? Now I will write the same shape. I will be writing from OY, that means from OY I travel towards XX direction. This will give me again my length by 2. This is L by 2 only. Here the L becomes 2 here. There it was L is 6 centimeter. Please do not confuse. Always L is this side for rectangle and B is this side for a rectangle. Though the shape is narrow or the shape is wide, we have to write the formula in the same fashion. We should not change the formula. So it is L only, L by 2. L is 2 by 2 is equal to 1 centimeter. This is my x2 value. X2 means sketch number 2, x2 value. So sketch number 1, x1 value. Sketch number 1, y1 value. Right? Now here, that is from OY I travel towards x direction. From OY it is L by 2, it's 2 by 2. This is the formula is L by 2 for always. And I get 1 centimeter it for my x2 value. Now from OX I travel up, right? I will be having B by 2 is my formula. Y bar is will become, what is B here? 8 centimeter here. It is 8 by 2 becomes 4 centimeter. That's my Y2 value. Is it clear? Now I find out the value of x1, y1 for sketch number 1. Sketch number 1 is this small rectangle here. I have subdivided it here. And for sketch number 2 is this alone. It is not 10 centimeter, it's 10 minus 2, 8 centimeter. It is written here 8 into 2 centimeter the sketch. For this I will find out x2 and y2. So this is a basic step for any sketch you find out center of gravity. So this one we are going to substitute in the formula of a1 x1 plus a1 y1 divided by a1 plus a2. Okay, and next you go for a1 x1 plus a2 x2 by a1 plus a2. Again you go for y bar value a1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2. Now I'll write it formula here. Let the B answers is here. So let me write it here because it's still congested. So I'm just keeping this figure without erasing to make you understand, because final answer will be here now. Now I'm finding out my x bar value. X bar is a1 area 1 x1. So here I have written the area of one step I missed. Area is here for sketch number 1 is L into B, 12 centimeters. Sketch number 2 again here, area of 2, again L into B. What is L here? 2 centimeter into B is here, but this is 8 centimeter. It is 2 into 8, 16 centimeter. It's clear? That formula is same. Whatever it is, L is this side and B is this side. Though the sketch is bigger or smaller, no doubt, because formula is this. No change in that. 16 centimeter. Now here I am writing a1 x1 plus a2 x2 divided by a1 plus a2. This is my x bar value. What will I substitute here? What is a1? Area 1 is this. Area is 12 centimeter. 12 into what is my x1 value? This is my x1 value. 3 centimeter. 3 plus here a2 What is my area 2 here? Area 2 is this 16 centimeter. 16 into x2 value was x1 here, x2 value is here 1 centimeter. Okay, divided by a1 plus a2. A1 is what? Again 12 plus a2 is 16. This gives my answer for x bar. Some value it is, some meters, centimeters, sorry. Some centimeter value is for x bar. After this finding this value, say suppose I'll take some value of 12 centimeters my answer. Then I'll go for my y bar value. That is one value x bar, find out my y bar. A1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2. What is area 1 again here? 12 centimeter into y1. Y1 is this 1 centimeter plus a2 here 16 centimeter. Y2, where is y2 here? 4 centimeter. 4 by a1 plus a2. This is common, 12 into 16. This gives my y bar value. So my x bar and y bar I will find it out in this fashion. After finding x bar and y bar, we have to indicate that value in this sketch. So the final sketch you should indicate with all these values. That I will show it here now. After finding out the value of x bar and y bar, you have to redraw the sketch as it is. Is that okay? You have to indicate the line OY, OX, clear? And you have to indicate this x bar and y bar value. X bar means you are traveling towards x axis. Y bar is towards y axis. Okay. Say suppose my value is x is 12. I got x bar value as 12 centimeter. And my y bar value is, I'm just taking an example. The calculations you can make it. Y bar value is suppose my say 6 centimeter, whatever it is. How will you indicate? X bar. Total length is what? It may not be the leather. Total length of the, it was, I think it is 6 into 12. It is 6 centimeters here. It may be less than that or whatever level. The value I have to indicate here. Say suppose it's 12 or say suppose I'll write 4 centimeter here. X bar I have to indicate here as 4 centimeter. And my y bar value may be 6 centimeter. Total is 10. I have the 6th centimeter here somewhere. I'll indicate. What I mean to say, this point should be indicated here. This may 4 centimeter from OY axis, my x bar value, and 6 centimeter is this height. From the bottommost point, this may 6 centimeter, and this is 4 centimeter from OY point, and this is my center of gravity. The center of gravity is a CG point. This point contains x bar value of say 4 centimeter, comma y bar value of say 6 centimeter. This is how you have to indicate. So the purpose, the starting is, once you have any sketch, you have to divide it into different. If it is a rectangle, you should go for this formula. First step, you divide this combination of sketches into 2 different sketches. You can number it, either this is 1 or this is 2, whatever it is. Find out separate area for that. Go for your x bar and individual y bar value, and go for sketch number 2. Then you go for the formula of x bar and y bar. Finally finished. Okay, that's how you solve a question. So 1 or 2 questions you do it like this, you'll get the answer. And the formulas you have to remember from the book, which is given around 14 to 15 sets of different shapes are the sketches, and its x bar and y bar values and the areas also. The one more problem given here, that is to locate the centroid of this sectional area. The name itself is sectional area. So this sketch shows a combination of many shapes or figures, I can say. So the first one is a bigger rectangle. Say its total height is 30 plus 30 60 plus 20 80. and width is 110 millimeter. Okay, this is a rectangle. So 80, 110 into this 80. Right. If you calculate this, this is a radius of this semicircle, 30 millimeter. Given data, 30 millimeter is radius. Right. Now, this first case, there is one rectangle, big rectangle here, one more a triangle, another small rectangle, right? The rectangle is 30 plus 20, yeah, it is 30 width and 20, again a rectangle again, and you have a semicircle also. Now this you consider as a plate, you take a zinc sheet as a plate. In that plate, consider you just making it a plate, a rectangle plate welded with a triangle plate like this. In that you are going to make a hole. This hatched portion, this probably understand what you mean hatching in drawing, we read in previous semester. So in this hatched portion shows this portion area is filled with materials, and this one is a small rectangular hole, a drilled hole, a rectangular hole of rectangle shape, and one more hole of semicircular shape. Okay. Now this sketch is a difference from the previous problem, because there it was a L section. We just added up area of sketch number 1, okay, and area of sketch number 2, and added with the remaining parameters. Here, after calculating everything, the area, x and y values, you have to reduce the particular hole, that is this rectangle, and this particular semicircle value. Why? Because in the total body you have a big rectangle, big triangle, there is a hole shaped a small rectangle and a semicircle, which has to be reduced from the total area. That we'll see how we do it. Now the basic step, what you have to do, you have to first find out individual areas and its x and y values, which means first we have to form the basic O x axis and O y axis. This O x and O y are your reference axis for every problem you have to consider. That means you are starting from a base of OX, okay, and OY. Whatever the value you are taking from leftmost corner towards right, you are traveling to our x-axis side, you are considering OY is your reference. And when you are traveling from base in the bottommost edge to upper level, you consider upper direction, you have to consider OX as your base. Now we will number it for our convenience. First I'll number, this is my first part, second is my triangle, third is my small rectangle, this bigger rectangle first one, second is my triangle, third is the rectangle, and fourth is my semicircle. And every rectangle, your rectangle, triangle, semicircle, whatever it is, it has its own area, formula for area, as well as formula for x and y values. Right. Now I'll first go for your rectangle. First is rectangle. Okay. First step is area. What is area here? You have 110 L into B. Formula is what? L into B, rectangle of the area. What is this? Length is, this is always L, and this is breadth. Okay. L is how much? L is 110. What is breadth given? 20 plus 30 plus 30. It is 80. This is my area of the rectangle. First step. So I'll just write this rectangle. So it's 110 in this direction, say 110, and it is L, and your B width is, how much is this? 20 plus 30 plus 30, it is 80 mm. Right? So again the same procedure, we have to consider individual origin point for this particular rectangle alone. You have to consider this is x axis, and this is OY axis. Okay. Now we are finding the individual center of gravity. There are 4 different shapes grouped together. I am finding for the portion number 1. I can write this is first portion, a rectangle. Portion number 1, I am finding center of gravity. CG for this one. How do we find out? Just make a cross diagonal mark, which means I have to, using the formulas, the shape is given, x value and y value I have already told you. There are 15 to 16 sketches in the book which you have to remember. It is mandatory for you to remember. Only then you can solve any question. Right. So for this, what is the x bar value? X value is, I can say x1 because portion number 1, x1 value is L by 2. L is how much? 110. 110 by 2. See, I am not writing the answers here. Values I am not writing because you can calculate it. The procedure is very important. Once you know the procedure, obviously you can calculate and get the answers. So L by 2. Same case, y1. x1 is L by 2 in the sense 110 by 2, it's 55 mm. Which means from this point, you have to travel 55 mm. This is center point. That becomes your x1 value. I am going to find out center of gravity for individual portion now. Right. Then when I find it for portion number 1, portion number 2, portion number 3, portion number 4, I can add it up. Or if required, I should reduce it also, because I said we are making 2 holes. I cut holes of, one is rectangle shape, another one is semicircle shape. Right. So here it is, x1 value is this much. Then y1, the formula says as again b by 2. And you remember, you have to prepare the formula, write down the formula and keep it with you. All the set of 15 formulas you should write in a paper, and while solving any question you should have the formula in your hand. It is a practice. Once or twice if you solve a question, obviously you will get it. You have to memorize, you have to remember it. Right. So that's b by 2. Then this value is again, what is b here? 80. 80 by 2 will be again 40 mm. So this is first work. Right. So area, you have written L into B is the formula for rectangle. Length into breadth, 110 this way. This is what is the value you would write. Area is in terms of meter square or millimeter square. Then x1 value, y1 value. Then you go for portion number 2. What is portion number 2? A triangle. Second portion, a triangle. Okay. Again the sketch separately you write. I'll take it a little bit different. Okay, a triangle. What is this triangle alone? The triangle has got again breadth into height. This breadth is given as plus 50 millimeter. That is 70 millimeter. This has got a breadth of 70 mm. This is B. Right. And height of the triangle is this height, 20 plus 30 plus 30, 80 again. Alright, this is 80. 80 mm. Right? Again, area of the triangle. Area of the triangle, what is this? Half into B into H. That is the formula. So it's half, B is 70, breadth into height is 8. You write the value. First step. Then you have to find out x value for this triangle. That means you are, again first step is writing area, second step is find out center of gravity for individual portion. So center of gravity for this triangle we are writing out. That is x2. x2 for this triangle. Right? Again this formula it is. It is b by 2. And y2 is h by 2. This is based on the formula. If the formula changes, you have to change the value accordingly. So this b by 2 is value 70 by 2 and 80 by 2. But the one change is this x and y we are calculating in terms of starting from a reference point. Any problem, any diagram given, first we are fixing out the OX common x base axis. I can say the bottommost line of the diagram, whole sketch becomes your OX common x axis or base x axis, a reference axis. and OY, which is the leftmost line of the diagram. Whatever may be the different sketches clubbed together, but the last line, leftmost edge, is called your OY line. So these X and Y values, if I travel towards X direction, I am talking in terms of starting from this 0 point. If this is 110 millimeter like this, so I am starting from 0, 10, 20, 30, I am traveling. Now in this sketch, for the rectangle my calculation is right, because I start from here, 0 to 110 is this. So I directly taken this length by 2. I have written a value of 110 by 2, it will come 55 millimeter. 5. But this triangle is the one which is apart, in the sense after 110 millimeter only this triangle starts. Hope you understood. So this is a sketch separately drawn, but it has been joined with the rectangle, I can say. What is the meaning? So from here only my reference point starts. So why I have to write? I have to calculate the values of X and my Y only from the reference point, which means this 110 millimeter I have crossed. Then I am finding out the X values center of gravity individually for this triangle. What I meant to say, I should add up a rectangle here which has already been drawn. You can either draw it like this and write the value of your x2. x2 in the sense this is portion number 2. This is portion number 1. 2, I mean 2 is 2. The meaning of telling 2 is sketch number 2, triangle. Now what is the meaning? Either you should draw it like this and then write the value. Means x2 is actually 70 by 2 only. Depending on the formula, since it's a triangle, it's b by 2 or y2 is h by 2, but it is not merely b by 2, 70 by 2, it should be along with this 110, because you are starting from 0. From 0 only you are traveling on 10, then you go for the 70 by 2. I can add up, I should add up 110. Actually speaking, you should write this 110 before. The first, the letter should be 110 only. Then because you are starting from here, traveling 110 distance, then you are interested in finding out the center of gravity of particular triangle, that particular portion. Here it is portion number 2. So I will again remodify this, because the rule is you have to starting with the scratch. 110 plus 70 by 2. You have to understand why we have written 110 millimeter here. Since the formula is only b by 2, breadth by 2, breadth is only 70. I am talking about the triangle. But 110 millimeter is from this base, that is YY line, the corner, leftmost corner line. 110 plus 70 by 2. That is the rule. Likewise, now for what about Y2 then? Why we are starting from here? Y is taken to this base axis. From here only we are going up. Even though this for this rectangle, what we did, Y1 is b by 2, this breadth by 2, that is 80 by 2 written. But this is the triangle, it is same case again, this is b, breadth by 2, it is 80 by 2. Or there is height here. In terms of a rectangle, the symbol is height, h by 2. It is simple as it is the value. You should ask me a question that why an addition of this, suppose 110 or some other value is not coming for this particular y2 value to find the center of gravity of the triangle, because the base of the triangle is lying on the x-axis. The bottommost reference axis is the reference for everything. Either you travel towards right hand side, that is x-axis side, or you travel towards up, towards up, that means towards y-axis side. Wherever it is, you should calculate from the baseline I said. This is my baseline. But when I travel in the x-axis, I found that this one portion is already made. So this its width or the distance I travel, I should be added. So I have added 110. But when I go for this height, it is sitting on the base only. The base is here. I need not add up anything, because as it is, its sketch is there here. I am just taking height by 2 as per the formula. So kindly remember that this is very, very important. If due to the formula, the formula which is given in the book is this much only. This is b by 2 alone. If you write 70 by 2, it becomes a big mistake. Total problem you will get wrong answer. Clear? Like that. Now question number 2 is over. Then question number 3. What is question number 3 here? I have indicated a small rectangle. This small rectangle is like this. Okay. What is the value of this one? It shows the L value. I always told, do not change your L and B. L should be always in this x-axis direction. B should be always in the y direction. Whether its width is very small or bigger, we don't bother about. Right? So it's L. This is my 20 is my L. And what is my width here given? B is breadth, 30 millimeter. This way 30. B. Okay. Again the same fashion. What is the area here again? Area L into B rectangle. L is 20 into B. B is 30. Again x3 like this. X3 is L by 2. What is L here? 20 by 2. And y3. What is y here? I mean B by 3. B by 2, sorry. This is 30 by 2. Again the same question. Where we started? For this diagram is inside here. For x value of this, that means the center point of this rectangle I am trying to find out. So for the x-axis line where I started, I start from the O. It is the base. From O, I traveled 110. Then I find out this value, center value. That means this 20 by 2, it should be 110 plus 20 by 2. I hope you understood. I am traveling 110, then finding out this center value, this line, this distance I am finding. Right? Then, what about this y value now here? Y value y3, I mean y3 is portion number 3, y3 is formula is b by 2, bet by 2. What is the value I have written? 30 by 2 you have written. It is wrong again. Because why? Because from the base I have to start. How much is this side totally? It is 80. I travel first from 0 to 20. Then I am finding out the center point. Which means I have to write 20 plus 30 by 2. That is my answer. So you please write down the answers and practice. I am not writing the answers. Procedure is very important. You have to understand the procedures. The calculating work is yours. 2 or 3 problems you calculate, you will not forget. It's as easy, as you practice. So this is the answer. Now area of 3 is over. Area of 4. What is this? Question number 4 is what? A semicircle. Question number 4. A semicircle. Right? What is this portion? Is like this. Right? What is the radius given? Given in the question is 30 mm. A 30 mm radius of the semicircle is given. For this we have to find out individual x. First is area, area. Area of semicircle, formula is given as pi r square by 2. These formulas again I repeat, it is available in the book. You will have to remember for so many shapes. Name you should remember, shape you have to remember. You should have to remember the area of the formula, formula for area, x value and y value. It is a standard formula, remember. Pi r square by 2. What is pi value? R is given as 30 millimeter square by 2. You get the answer. Right? Then x4. X means in x direction, from the base x direction, I am finding out center point. I am trying to find out individual CGs. It is called individual CGs, all the places. CG. Here also. Individual center of gravities. So this is what? From here. Again here, to travel x, what is this? This sketch is drawn leaving 10 millimeter from the base. From this line I am traveling x-axis side. Okay? Hope you understand. From this side, leaving 10 millimeter it starts. So what should I do? I should write 10 plus the formula for finding x value for a semicircle is given as d by 2. Diameter of the semicircle by 2 is the formula given as per the semicircle diagram. It is in the book, standard formula. So what is this d by 2? What is the diameter of this? 30 is the radius, so 60. 60 by 2. I am not writing the values, I am just telling you the formula. So this is my x4 value. What is my y4 value? Y4 as per the formula, it is given as 4r by 3 pi. 4 into radius by 3 into pi. That is the formula as per the standard values. So again I am writing here. So let me write here this side. 4 into r by 3 pi. 4 into r is radius 30 by 3 into pi. Again y value, should I add up? See, for x value I have added 10 millimeter here, because from 0 when I start, the center of the semicircle on the x axis side I should travel 10 mm, then catch the center. That is why I have written 10 plus. To catch the center of the x axis side, this formula is d by 2, so 60 by 2, right? And y value, from it is sitting on the base only. Suppose the semicircle is somewhere here, I have to add up this distance also. Hope you understand, every step I am doing the same thing. If it is sitting on the base, you can directly add up. Write the formula. If it is away from the base, either in x-axis side, x-axis side or y-axis side, you have to add up the values. This mistake, if you commit, whole problem gets, you make a mistake. It goes wrong. That's it. Now here 4r by 3 pi as such. Find the value. After finding individual area, individual x1 value, x1 means for portion 1, x2, y1 portion 1, x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4. This work is over. Now you are coming to the final answer. Your work is to find out. I have written so many things in the board. I don't want to rub this, because the idea is to make you understand how is the procedure. Procedure, if you understand, the calculation is left in. So I write, I am finding x bar value. The formula says a1 x1, it's the formula, plus a2 x2. Portion number 1, rectangle, area of 1, x1 value. Area of 1 is given, x1 is here, plus a2, what is 2? 2 is this triangle. This adding a2 x2. Area is 2 is here, x2 value is here. Then I should write question number 3 and 4. I told you this is a big plate. I am taking a rectangle, I am taking a triangle. In that shape I am cutting a hole of a rectangle small, a semicircle small. What is the meaning? I am discarding the material. I am removing a part of a small rectangle, a small semicircle. For that I should not use this symbol. What is the meaning of this? Is adding. See, this is one portion. This has been added for this. But these two portions have been, portions have been removed, or it's a cut hole. So I have to write minus. Is negative a3 x3. Why is this? Total area of this 3. This rectangle is being removed. It's a cut. a3 x3. Again one more minus. What is that one? Again minus is semicircle a4 x4. a4 x4. Clear? So just for the convenience I am just rubbing this, since you have already taken the sketch or understood. Divided by a1 plus a2. Again the denominator of the formula is only the area. a1 a2 minus a3 minus a. This you substitute all these values available, get the value. So x bar, y bar, only substitute the, instead of x you said y1, y2 minus y4, y3, y4, here a3, f4. And find the value. That will give the final value of x bar and y bar. Again you have to redraw the sketch. Finally this big sketch you have to draw. Indicate that value of x bar from this direction. Say suppose I get an x bar of say 50 millimeter. This answer is 50 millimeter. I should indicate a separate sketch. Draw the sketch. This is totally how much? 10 plus 30. No, it is 60. 60, 70, 90, 130 is say 180 total. My x bar value is 50. From here I have to measure, say scale 50 millimeter. I have to draw a big line. Center of gravity on x axis side. And y bar, suppose I get a value of suppose 40. Okay. I have to draw this. Finally indicate a big round right CG. My x bar line. This is the procedure followed for every problem. The previous problem is the one we have just added up 2-3 portions were there, A1, A2, then A1 x1 plus 2 plus 3. This I have given example because we are removing a portion, you have to compulsorily write this negative sign. It's very important. And remaining is as such. As per the formulas, you have to remember the shape, the area, the x1 value, the y1 value and substitute. That makes you 2 or 3 problems you practice. You have to practice with calculators. Do not use, sit for studying mechanics without calculators. You become it's kind of foolish studies. You have to use calculator whenever you sit with mechanics book. Otherwise you will not calculate. It's practice. So this you practice, 1 or 2 sketches you do it in different shapes. The remaining process is same.